Medieval people didn't lift weights, they didn't track protein, they didn't optimize anything, and yet, their bodies were stronger in ways most modern bodies aren't. Not bigger, not leaner, stronger where it actually mattered. Strength before gyms ever existed. When we think about medieval life, strength usually isn't the first thing that comes to mind. We imagine hardship, short lifespans, and constant struggle. But physical evidence tells a different story. Skeletal remains from the medieval period show thicker bones, stronger joint structures, and heavier muscle attachment points than what we see in most modern populations. This wasn't gym-built strength. It wasn't trained in controlled environments. It came from constant physical demand. Farming, hauling water, chopping wood, building homes, carrying armor. These weren't workouts. They were daily life. The body adapted because it had no choice. Strength wasn't a goal. It was a requirement. What medieval people actually ate. There's a common myth that medieval diets were mostly bread and thin soup. In reality, food was simple but deeply practical. Protein was a regular part of life, especially for working populations. People ate meat when available, eggs and dairy when possible, fish in river and coastal regions, and organ meats because wasting food wasn't an option. Bones were boiled into broths. Fat was saved and valued. Nothing was refined. Nothing was stripped down. Protein wasn't isolated. It came packaged with minerals, collagen, gelatin, and fat-soluble vitamins. Meals weren't designed for aesthetics or macros. They were designed to keep the body working. Protein had a job to do. Here's the part that changes how we think about strength. Medieval people didn't eat protein to build muscle. They ate protein to recover from labor. Food followed effort. Long days of physical work damaged the body, and protein helped repair it. That repair happened slowly and completely. Muscle, tendons, ligaments, and bones strengthened together. There was no rush to grow, no focus on size. Strength accumulated over years of repetition and recovery. That's why medieval strength was dense and durable. It wasn't flashy, but it lasted. The first sign, something changed. Fast forward to today. Modern diets contain more protein than ever before. Protein powders, bars, shakes, snacks. Engineered, measured, optimized. We know exactly how many grams we're eating. And yet, modern bodies break more easily. Joint pain is common. Tendon injuries are routine. Fatigue lingers. Many people look strong but struggle to stay healthy under stress. If protein alone created real strength, this shouldn't be happening. Which leads to an uncomfortable question. If medieval people were stronger without tracking protein, and were weaker while obsessing over it, then something about protein itself must have changed. And that's where the real story begins. It was never about eating more. When people notice the gap between medieval strength and modern fragility, the first instinct is to blame quantity. Maybe they ate more protein. Maybe they worked harder. Maybe modern people are just lazy. But that explanation falls apart fast. Today, protein intake is higher than it has ever been. Supermarkets are packed with protein-labeled foods. Gyms are filled with people hitting daily targets down to the gram. On paper, modern diets should be producing the strongest bodies in history. They aren't. That's because strength was never built by protein quantity alone. It was built by protein quality, and by what surrounded that protein. Protein came from a different world. Medieval protein came from animals that lived slow, physically demanding lives. They grazed, moved, fought weather, and built tissue gradually. Their muscles, fat, and connective tissue developed together over time. When people ate those animals, they weren't just consuming amino acids. They were consuming a biological record of movement, stress, and adaptation. Modern protein comes from a very different system. Animals are raised quickly, growth is accelerated, movement is limited, feed is optimized for speed, not resilience. The protein still exists, but the context around it has changed. Protein didn't just get cheaper, it got thinner. Muscle was built as a system, not a target. Medieval bodies didn't build muscle in isolation. Strength developed across the entire structure of the body. Tendons thickened, ligaments adapted, bones became denser. Muscle followed the framework, not the other way around. Modern training often flips that order. We train muscle first. Size becomes the goal. Strength is measured visually, but connective tissue adapts more slowly than muscle, and modern diets often fail to support that slower repair. The result is a body that looks capable but breaks under pressure. This is where medieval protein mattered most. It didn't just rebuild muscle fibers. It supported the structures that made strength sustainable. The missing pieces nobody talks about. Protein doesn't work alone. It never did. Medieval diets delivered protein alongside minerals like calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. They provided collagen and gelatin from bones and joints. They included fat-soluble vitamins that helped shuttle nutrients into cells. Modern protein is often stripped of these partners. Powders isolate amino acids. Processed foods remove fat. Convenience foods prioritize shelf life over nutrient density. Protein arrives, but the instructions for how to use it don't. That's why recovery feels incomplete for so many people today. Muscles repair, but joints ache. Strength increases, but resilience doesn't. When protein became a product, at some point protein stopped being food and became a product. It was separated, branded, flavored, and sold as a solution. Drink this, eat that, hit this number. The body was treated like a machine that only needed enough raw material.
But the medieval body wasn't built by supplementation. It was built by systems working together: food, labor, rest, and time.
Modern diets deliver protein fast. Medieval diets delivered protein complete. And that difference explains why one built bodies that lasted, while the other often builds bodies that look strong but feel fragile.
Why modern bodies break more easily.
If modern protein truly worked the way we're told it does, today's bodies would be nearly unbreakable. Instead, injury has become normal. Joint pain is expected. Tendon issues are common even among young, active people. The problem isn't effort, it's imbalance. Modern bodies often build muscle faster than the structures meant to support it. Tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and bone adapt slowly. But modern diets and training styles don't respect that timeline. Protein goes toward muscle repair first, while connective tissue quietly falls behind. Medieval strength didn't have this problem because it wasn't rushed. Nothing grew faster than the system could handle. Strength was structural, not cosmetic. Medieval people weren't trying to look strong. They were trying to function. Their bodies adapted to repeated real-world stress. Carrying weight, twisting, lifting awkward loads, walking long distances, over and over again. Strength developed three-dimensionally, across the entire body. Protein supported that process by rebuilding everything that broke down. Not just muscle fibers. Bones thickened, joints stabilized, muscle followed the structure instead of overpowering it. Modern strength culture often reverses this. We chase visible results first and hope the rest catches up later. Sometimes it does, often it doesn't. What medieval diets got right by accident. No medieval person was thinking about collagen intake or mineral balance, but their food naturally delivered both. Whole animals were eaten, bones were simmered, organs were consumed, fat wasn't removed. Meals took time to digest, releasing nutrients slowly and consistently. Protein arrived with instructions, micronutrients that told the body where to send it and how to use it. Modern diets often strip protein down to its simplest form. Faster absorption, faster digestion, faster results. But speed comes at a cost.
Strength needs patience.
Rebuilding strength in a modern world.
This isn't about going backward or pretending we live in the Middle Ages. It's about understanding what worked and why.
Real strength still requires protein that comes with its supporting nutrients, enough fat and minerals to support repair, time for connective tissue to adapt, movement that stresses the whole body, not just isolated muscles.
You don't need medieval tools. You need medieval principles.
Eat protein that looks like food. Train in ways that respect recovery. Let strength build slowly instead of forcing it to appear quickly. The truth about strength we forgot. Medieval people weren't stronger because they were tougher or more disciplined. They were stronger because their entire lifestyle worked together. Food supported labor. Labor shaped the body. Time did the rest. Modern diets try to shortcut that process. They promise strength without patience, muscle without structure, results without resilience. But real strength doesn't come from how much protein you eat. It comes from how well your body can use it. Over time, under stress, without breaking. And that's the kind of strength we're still trying to rediscover.
What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.
If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos.